So in part 2 of the Darkroom timer, I need to actually clean my vinyl. It wasn't called vinyl in the past, it was called records. Actually, while we're speaking about vinyl, one of the good things is, you recognize that picture? That's from Eve Arnold. An incredible album from the Au Pairs, UK punk band that I like very much. But I digress. So we're on to the second part of the Darkroom timer. This time around I'm going to use a second board. And that second board is going to allow us to turn on and off the enlarger. It's raining outside actually. It allows us to power both the TM1638 board and the microcontroller. We're changing the microcontroller from the Arduino Uno from the first part to an ESP12. The code will automatically detect which controller you're using. There's all sorts of noises going on in the background. But this is basically a two-board approach, and that's all you need. Even the wire that comes with the TM1638 will work with this relay board, the ES12 relay board. It's a real sweet solution. You do have to do, unfortunately, a little bit of soldering, but that's it. And then you have your Darkroom timer. I will talk about the enclosure, which I'm getting designed at the moment, in part 3. Yeah, it's quite a journey to make this Darkroom timer, from the coding to making these videos, to finding the right boards and actually trying them out and getting the code to be compatible with both the ESP and the Arduino, but a lot of fun. I'll show how to upload the code and how the library works, which I didn't show in the last video because, well, this is a more complete solution now. So you have two boards. The only thing with this board is you do have to solder these pins in. So that's the only bit of soldering you have to do. And of course, if you want to do some kind of power supply here from the mains voltage, you need to protect that pretty well. And also you need to put all this in a case. Now there is a 3D print for this part and a box for this, but it wouldn't fit this board. So I'm going to try and make a box, or at least a design that would fit both of them. So for the second board has a high voltage area, so you've got to be very careful if you're going to use this. You don't have to use this. It is the power supply where you put the line voltage in here, which would be either 110 to 230 volts. That goes in this connector here, and which would supply the board. You have to be very careful with this, and it should be in a protective case, and you need to know what you're doing. So don't electrocute yourself. I'm not responsible for you for that. If you don't want to use this power supply, you can supply the board with 5 volts through the USB, or through the serial port here, or even this here you can put in, I think, 9 to 12 volts in here, because you've got a little rectifier in here. So you've got a number of ways to supply this board. And so we have our relay, we have our processor here, our microcontroller, which is the ESP12. This one has wireless, so we don't use the wireless, but we could use it in the future for example logging our exposures or something like that. The GPIO pins, we use 3 of them on this side, plus the power that will power our TM1638 board, which I demonstrated in the last video, and how that worked in the functions. So this is the whole solution here. However, to program this board, you cannot program it through the USB because there's no UART. So what you need is some kind of serial converter. You could use your Arduino Uno as a serial converter. I have this cable here. I found it in my supply, and I just wired it up. I put my driver on my Mac, and it showed up in the Arduino software. And the
IDE is the Arduino IDE, which is free actually. And if you go to arduino.cc, you go into the software section, you shall find the version, whatever version is the latest. Currently it's 2.11, which is quite a nice version because it automatically downloads the boards for you and the libraries. It's much cleaner than before, available for Windows or Linux or Mac. So I downloaded the Mac Apple Silicon version. Once that's installed, then you're ready to download my code from GitHub. GitHub here, and I'm going to download it as a zip file. It should come down pretty fast. It's already done. I'm going to open that. I'm going to change the name, which is really important for this to work. Okay, so it's _timer. Once you've got that, then you need to open up the timer, one, the Darkroom _timer, and that should appear here. And say, okay, this is on a Mac, so let's just put that up here. So that's the whole code. Now you need to select the board that you're going to be working with. So type in ESP INO, there it is, that's the ESP12 module. Select OK. You can go over here and just have a look at you need in the library manager, you need the 1638 plus. I've already got it installed and you're ready to go. So you can just test this out before uploading it. You can just see if it actually compiles. You can see it's under here, it's compiling, and it's compiled. If you've got it to compile, the next thing you need to do is connect up your boards, and then you would upload it onto the boards, whether through a USB serial port converter or the Arduino Uno. So that's pretty much it. There's a README in here that just gives the features, and you've got all the code here. If you want to modify it or add fixes to it, everything is available to you. So as I said, you can use your serial converter here. This is a USB to serial converter. If you don't have one of these, of course, you can use the Arduino that I showed in the part 1 of the video, and you can connect the pins up from that and just use the standard USB to your computer and use this as the converter. That's on my blog. There's a description how to do that. But to get the code onto the board, you need to short out those 2 pins in here. And I'm going to use the piece of wire that I have here for my beeper because I've lost the jumper, but the jumper does come with this board, so you could just put the jumper in here. Okay, so they're shorted. Just keep that shorted wire away from the board. Then you're uploading the code. It'll run straight away, but if you reboot the board, you will need to take out the jumper here. Otherwise, it won't run your code. So a nice little tip, what you can do for the display is use some film, right? So I've got some medium format here, film that has just the end of it. But I'm going to stick over that and I'm going to use that in my case. That's what I'm going to do, or part of the box, but it just makes that a little bit better. So if you get some unused film, that's a great way to actually recycle it. So that's what it would look like in the darkroom. I think it looks pretty cool.
So I've wired in my power here. So my power goes in here, my neutral goes in here, and the enlarger goes down here, back onto this wire, and the power also. And then it will go onto my adapter here. Power here, the enlarger plugs in here. It's a 1 cable solution, just like the Jobo 200. Of course, your plug and socket adapter will be different in whichever country you're in. So this one I took apart myself. I'm going to have to glue it back together to make it safe. So now I've powered up
the board with two 30 volts, and the relay goes back down this wire back to the socket on the plug adapter, which goes onto my lamp. If I push the button here, the focus light, so the enlarger goes on, you can see, turn it off. We got 2 seconds in here. Let's run a strip test. So the base is going, and we'll go to the next one, and that's working pretty well. So that is ready for the darkroom. Of course, I'm going to need a case for this because this is live up here. This part of here is live. I do not want to put my fingers near this because I will electrocute myself, which I don't intend to do. What I have learnt is that we have another contact here, which could be for your safe lights. So when the enlarger goes on, the safe light goes off, and when the enlarger goes off, the safe light is back on. So you could wire this to your safe light, this connector here. So yeah, and let's just do a standard exposure. Yeah, that's working pretty well. So there you go. I've made the simplest darkroom timer that you can program, that you can do whatever you like with very simple components, very flexible. With this adapter here, yeah, you've got to figure out which way you want to do it electrically, because of course around the world we've got different sockets, different ways to do that, different regulations. What we're missing now is an actual box for all this. That I'm going to cover in the next video, and then we're going to use it actually in the darkroom. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed making it. It's been a lot of work, but a lot of fun. Hope to see you in part 3. Thank you for watching.
If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little notification bell, and hope to see you on the next video. Goodbye.